Hey, beautiful people. I'm Gabby, and this is Life with So Quaint. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how to make your own Jamaican banana bread. From this recipe, you can get about 12 slices based on how you cut your slices. I am using a 9 by 9-inch pan, and it is 2 inches deep. To bake this banana bread, you need the following ingredients: vanilla, baking soda, eggs, and for the quantity I'm going to be making, you only need 2 eggs, some overripe bananas, salt, butter, some non-stick spray. If you don't have non-stick spray, then you can just stick to butter, flour. I'm using regular counter flour, but you can always get baking flour, and brown sugar. I feel like it's really important to use brown sugar over granulated sugar, especially because this is going to be a Jamaican style banana bread. You also need some Greek yogurt, preferably some that is unflavored or maybe even vanilla. You also need the following items: some measuring cups, and if you want to guess these quantities, that's completely okay. But I find that having measuring cups makes your work a lot easier because it takes the guessing out of things. It would also be helpful if you have some measuring spoons, but you can always use a regular teaspoon and a regular tablespoon. A wooden spoon, this is going to be for mixing your ingredients. A fork to mash your bananas. A strainer that you can use to sift the flour, a bowl that you can mash your bananas in, a bowl that you can mix your ingredients in, and then a baking tin. You can always use a disposable one, and I was using a disposable one before this, but I just decided I would upgrade to something more permanent. This is a square pan. Before I mix my ingredients, I'm going to light my oven so that it can actually preheat. I'm using a regular gas stove. So I'm going to keep it on a low flame, and that should preheat the oven perfectly. So the first thing I'm going to do is to mash my overripe bananas in this bowl. I am using 5 overripe bananas. This one is quite small, but that's okay. I'm going to use my fork to just mash these out. And if you have an Irish potato masher, then you can use that to mash your bananas. But you pretty much just want to get these looking nice and smooth. They actually won't end up looking smooth at all, but you just want to mash them out as much as possible. Because these bananas are overripe, they're actually very sweet, so they will add some sweetness to your banana bread. This is a great idea for something that you can make if you have bananas that are on your counter that are getting old, but you don't want to throw them out. You don't have to throw your bananas away anymore. Just use them to make yourself banana bread. This is how mine is looking, and I won't be mashing it out any more than this. This is quite fine for me. So I'm going to take my 2 eggs, and the main aim is to get them into this bowl. But even though I didn't tell you need a measuring cup, I'm going to mash my eggs into this measuring cup first, then I'll put them into the bowl. Now I'm going to use my fork to just mix these two together. And I like to spin my bowl while I'm mixing. Now I'm going to mix together some butter and sugar. You'll be needing a cup of sugar, and a half cup of butter. You do have the option to warm this butter if you want to, but because chiffon butter is really soft already, I don't even do that, because if I do, it's probably just going to turn into a liquid. You're going to mix your sugar and your butter together. And this is actually very tasty. I have tasted this a few times before. You want to do this until all the sugar is coated in butter. And as you can see, I'm spinning my bowl while I do this because I just want to get everything evenly. You want to make sure that you get all the things that are on the spoon so that all the butter can be mixed in. I'm going to add this to my mixture of bananas and eggs. And then I'm going to mix them together. Next, you want to add a teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to mix that in. And this I'm going to consider my wet mixture. So now we're going to make a dry mixture that's going to consist of flour, baking soda, and salt. I'm going to just add my flour to this measuring cup first. You need 1 3/4 cups of flour. This is something I learned from my mom, which is pretty much to just shake up your measuring cup and then you use something to shave off the top to get an exact or precise measurement. Shake it again. Then I'm just going to use my spoon to smoothen out the top. So I'm going to use my strainer to sift my flour just to get it smooth. And in order to do that, I like to just pat it on my hand like this. So if you look into my strainer, you'll notice all of those fine grains that didn't make it through. We don't want these in the banana bread. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the last cup of flour. And I'm going to toss this. You need a teaspoon of baking soda. And then you need half a teaspoon of salt. To this mixture, we're going to add our wet mixture. And first, I'm just using my fork to just kind of get everything integrated. But now I'm going to switch to my wooden spoon. So we can see the batter taking shape here, and at no point am I going to be adding water. That's something I really like about banana bread, even though, to be fair, I can't really think of a recipe for baking that you'd add water to, but you're just gonna keep on mixing this out until you feel like it's the texture that you want it to be. The first time I made banana bread, I didn't have any measuring cups or measuring spoons, and I honestly didn't even know if I was getting like the right portion of everything, but I just tried my best and I trusted my ancestors. And they certainly helped me because that banana bread turned out really good. So if you don't have all of the utensils that I stated in this video, then don't worry, you can still make this banana bread. The final ingredient we're going to add is our Greek yogurt. I tried to make this without Greek yogurt once, and I honestly didn't like the texture of it. It was kind of tough. So I find that Greek yogurt or sour cream are some really great additions because they add creaminess to the banana bread. But once that's done, you pretty much just mix that in. It's better if you can use an actual circular bowl. I am only using a dish here, as you can see, because I don't have one of those circular bowls. So if you're using a dish like me, then you want to make sure that you get into the corners so that all of the mixture that's in there will be evenly distributed. This is the thickness of my mixture. So it's not sliding off the spoon like soup or anything. It's just falling off with a smoothness, kind of like porridge. Since the ingredients are all mixed, I'm going to take my pan and I'm going to coat it with this cooking spray. This is going to be so that my banana bread doesn't stick to the pan. So you want to make sure that you coat all the sides of it. You can also use the same butter for this. You would just take it on your fingers and just rub it into the pan. But I'm now going to take my mixture and transfer it to the pan. And it looks like this pan is actually the perfect size for all the ingredients that I have. This isn't exactly a bread shape, but you don't have to create a bread shape even though it's banana bread. So if you only have like a circular baking tin, that's completely okay. You just want to make sure you have something to bake your banana bread in. It's still gonna have the same taste regardless. All right, so I'm trying to get all of my batter out. And at this point, I feel like I'm fighting a battle. So I'm pretty much just gonna put this aside. And now we can finally put this inside the oven. So we're gonna let this bake for 40 to 50 minutes. And I'm gonna put my timer on right now. Hey Siri, set a timer for 45 minutes. So it's been 35 minutes and my banana bread is actually done already. Thank goodness I checked it, because if I didn't, it would probably start to burn. So this is what it currently looks like. And in order to make sure that it's ready, you want to put a toothpick or a fork or a knife in the middle. And once it comes out clean, you know that it's ready. So I'm just gonna let this cool right now. And I suspect that the reason why it baked in such a short amount of time is because I had my oven on the highest setting. I'm now going to let my banana bread cool for a couple of minutes before I actually cut it. So we're gonna cut the banana bread right now to see what it's it's looking like. And I'm just gonna cut 2 slices. So this is what the inside of mine looks like. So good. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more cooking and home videos, and I will see you in the next one.